Hello, I'm Greg Harrison with the USDA Market News Service here in St. Joe, Missouri with your National Feeder Cattle Summary this week. Well, looking at prices this week compared to last week, calves and stocker cattle weighing mostly from 400 to 700 pounds, trading pretty much steady to firm with last week, spots 5 higher. Yearling market, mostly these will be cattle weighing over 800 pounds. Unevenly steady this week, ranges from anywhere from steady to 3 spots 4 lower to steady to $3 higher. And a lot of that depends on if it's early week or late week sales. We've seen the futures market trade good, higher on Thursday and Friday, and it kind of really helped the sales on Thursday. See some pluses there. But this week on the yearling market, we've also seen large strings of wheat grazing yearlings having the opportunity to make it their way to the auctions this last couple of weeks, as we've seen several large volume sales, especially in Oklahoma, like in Oklahoma City and El Reno and Woodward, all having receipts of over 10,000 head the last couple of weeks. And in some cases, this has put a little pressure on the market with all these large volume sales. But the trading, it still remains very active on them yearlings and also on the calves and stocker cattle, especially weighing 500 to 700 pounds. These old crop calves and some of these lightweight calves also throughout the southeast. You look at the 6-weight cattle, most of the 6-weight cattle, good top quality cattle, long time wean with good weighing conditions, are all selling well north of that $1.80 mark. In Valentine, Nebraska on Thursday, they sold over 6,400 head of cattle, and they sold over 700 head of 650 pound steers, selling with a weighted average weight of 626 pounds and sold for a weighted average price of $193. And buyers really want these type of cattle to turn out on grass, Flint Hills, and these are just type of cattle that'll gain their heads off and press down hard on them scales come late summer, weighing 850, 900 pounds and do it all. Fed cattle market this week, we've seen dress sales on Friday in Nebraska and Iowa trade $6 higher at $220. And so far this week, we haven't seen any technical downside that has occurred in the cattle futures. Not yet so far, so futures seem to be content where they're trading, but we've seen futures on Thursday trade sharply higher with triple-digit gains and then have solid gains again on Friday. And if there is any concern there, you look at the disconnect a little bit on the April live cattle contract at 139.80 on its close on Friday, and the June live cattle contract at 128.55, a little over $11 difference there, which maybe kind of reflects that there are concerns of maybe larger supplies of cattle coming down the road. Box beef values this week have had a good week, strong sales, and we've seen kind of in the seasonal getting ready demand with spring-like weather conditions throughout the country and kind of picking up. And you look right around the corner, grilling season, and on Thursday's close, choice box beef closed $1.42 higher at $225.24, and last Thursday's close was at $219.75, so almost a $6 gain there this week. Looking at some regional weighted averages this week in the North Central Plains, 6-weight steers up about $3 over last week at 180.17. 7-weight steers about $2 higher at 164.20, and 8 to 900 pound steers about $1 higher at 152.91. South Central region, 5-weight steers are $2 higher at 193.45. 6-weights $1 higher at 174.88. 7-weights about steady with last week at 157.79, and 8-weights are also about steady at 147.66. Southeast region, 4-weight steers a little bit lower than last week at 193.27. That's down about $4, but 5-weight steers running steady with last week at 179.79. That's your markets for this week. Thanks for listening. Be back with you next week.